Hi guys, Justin Travis here, Countryside Co-op in Osseo. I'm an agronomist out of this location.
I'm Mike Wachtendonk with Countryside Cooperative as well, and I work with the feed group and do nutrition for dairy and beef.
So today we wanted to talk to you guys about corn silage harvest since it's on the near horizon. And so if you may or may not know, we can actually help you with that here out of our Kings Valley location. So we have a wood chipper here. If you want to bring in 10, 12 corn stalks so we can get enough of a sample, we can get you a moisture test to get you within a point or two of where your corn silage harvest is at, or how long before you're going to need to harvest. Or if you want to bring us a sample out of your chopper, certainly can do that. That actually probably works a little bit better, a little more accurate. We just need about enough to fill a 5-gallon pail. So whatever we can do to help you harvest at the ideal moisture is going to be the best. So Mike, what moistures do we want to shoot for corn silage?
Well, typically it'll depend a little bit on storage structure a little bit. So those guys with bunkers are going to be trying to hit between 65 to 70, and they may want to get started at 72, 73, just depending on the volume of silage they have to make to be able to get it made all in time. So some stuff we were monitoring last week were mid-70s, so possibly by the end of this week with this week's heat and depending on rain and moisture, that may be ready to go by the weekend. So that's what we're kind of monitoring and watching this week. So that's what we look for a bunker. As far as bagging, usually has to be under 70, so I kind of use the rule of thumb of 65 to 70 for bags, and then if it's an upright structure, probably 60 to 65% moisture to avoid excessive juicing and kind of losing some of those sugars that we're trying to preserve at harvest time.
Sure. So the moisture definitely is one key thing that we can control and try and stay on top of to get quality corn silage. What else can we do to help preserve our silage and give us the best feed possible?
Other thing is just getting it chopped correctly, so that'd be the correct particle size and length. So if you're working with a custom harvester, with a big self-propel unit, they're looking at maybe a 3/4 inch theoretical cut length, and then we'd want to monitor like a silage sample amount that fits in a 32-ounce glass. So we look at that, and we want maybe only one to maybe a half a kernel in size. Otherwise, the rest of them we'd like to have broken up better than that. So, and then we can do use the Penn State shaker box to make sure that our size of our silage is fine enough, and then just the packing concept, just making sure we got weight in the piles to get that done correctly. So those would be some of the keys as far as that goes. The other part is using the right inoculant. So we kind of partner with Chris Hansen here at Countryside. So there's a Biomax Pro that's kind of our base corn silage inoculant, that if there's not any deliberating circumstances, this one works really well for everybody. If we're on the wet side, maybe we have a custom harvester and we're up against the wall, otherwise he's going to maybe go to the next guy, and we come back, it's going to be too dry. We tend to use the SiloSolve MC. So that would be in a situation where you're going to be 70% plus on moisture, or in danger of that anyways. And the biggest advantage using SiloSolve MC is it prevents clostridial fermentation. So that's maybe that neon green yellow color, and maybe kind of runs and puts off an off odor and then leads to a butyric acid issue on the silage. The other option we have is called SiloSolve FC. So this is the newest version of Buchneri. It's a little bit different than old versions of Buchneri. It has some different organisms and bacteria in it to help with upfront fermentation. So that first 2-3 days of harvest, it gets that cool quickly and can be fed soon after if you're in a inventory crunch. But then it also has the Buchneri in it for stable feed out and prevent heating in the bunk with the cows, and so that's kind of a big advantage with this product. So one of these 3 inoculants could easily help that fermentation process and set you up for success for the next 12 months. And that's the one thing about corn silage harvest, you have to do it right, because you're going to live with it for 12-14 months here. It depends on how much you get harvested. So we want to do everything we can to make sure you have the right moisture, the right inoculant, the right pack, and Justin and I already worked with you guys in getting the right hybrid selected. So
Sure. So yeah, speaking of right hybrid, so behind us here we actually have one of our 96-day Brevant TMF, formerly known as Mycogen TMF varieties here from over by Strum. So This particular hybrid, we actually did a test here. It's sitting at right about 80% right now. So we've got a little time here, as do many farmers right now. So be sure you talk to Mike or your feed nutritionist on getting the right inoculant and storage setup.